everybody. Crikey, how do I follow that introduction? I'd better be good after that, thanks Mubarak. Just a little bit of a potted history about me. My background's actually, I'm a chartered marketer. So I've been in marketing 15 years. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing. There's about 300 female fellows in the whole world, so I'm about as big a marketing geek as you can get. I am also a prolific networker, as Mubarak said, and I run Showing Off Academy. So hopefully that just gives you a bit of a clue that I have been around networking for a little while, so I have got some credibility when it comes to sort of teaching you about networking. So what I wanted to do tonight really is really support Mubarak in his first event, because it looks like it's going to be a really well supported network. So hopefully we can get it kicked off to a really good start tonight. I want to try and help you get the most from this event tonight as well, so that you go home with lots of contacts, lots of useful connections, and we'll come on to that a little bit later. And I want to try and make sure that you have some fun. How many of you think networking is fun? Just a quick show of hands. Yeah, about 5. So what I want to try and do is change that, because networking really should be fun. So hopefully we'll have a bit more fun tonight than you have perhaps at previous networking events. So another quick question for you. How many people came here tonight in the hope that you would get some business or sell something or make some money? Just a quick show of hands. Yeah, most of the people in the room. How many of you came here to buy something tonight? There's even people shaking their heads. Okay, this is the big mismatch in networking. We come because we think somebody's going to buy something, but nobody came through those doors tonight thinking, I want to buy something from somebody in this room. We all arrive hoping to sell. And the reality is, most people don't sell anything at networking events. Sorry, you can leave now if you like. But networking really is the first step of many. Most of us aren't going to do business with people we've only just met, because I don't know you. So I'm definitely not going to put you in front of my best client, because I don't trust you yet, because I've only just met you. And usually we go through about 7 points of contact between somebody meeting you and somebody buying from you. So that's not going to happen probably in one networking event. Yeah? Occasionally you bump into somebody that needs your services, they buy from you and everybody's happy, but it really is the exception rather than the norm. So the main real guts of a networking event, if you like, is to get to know people, to become liked, because we do business with people that we like. Would you agree? Yeah? I don't recommend people I don't like. Why would I don't do business with people I don't like? I actually don't have clients that I don't like. I'm quite lucky that I don't have to do business with people I can't stand. So, you know, I can pick and choose. So I'm looking for people at networking events that I quite like. So really it's about finding out about other people. So a few questions that you might want to ask when you're networking that just get the conversation going. Really, imagine you're at a wedding, you know. You wouldn't march up to somebody with your business card at a wedding, would you? And go, if you ever need my services, will you please give me a call? So why would you do it at a networking event? Yet that exact thing happened to me less than a week ago. Somebody marched up, interrupted a conversation that I was having with somebody else and said, can I just give you my business card? Because the networking event was finishing. Well, actually, no. You can give me your business card, but it's going one place, and that's the round file. So, which is the bin, for those of you that don't know. So, you know, you've got to get liked, which means social etiquette. It means being friends with people. It means chatting to them, finding out about them, being interested in them, asking them about what they did in the past. You know, where have they come from? Where did they live? What job did they do? Why do they do their particular job? What's their passion for their particular job? What are their goals? What do they do outside of work? You know, I had a great conversation with somebody today who, he's into home cinema. And he waxed lyrical about home cinema. He loved it. And I found out much more about him in that 2 minutes than I'd found out a bit about him in the half an hour that we'd been having a business meeting. So,
Sorry.
You're buying the drinks. Everybody spot this man's buying the drinks. So, you know, when you're chatting to people, just ask them about them. It's the best way that you can get to know them. And if you're interested in them, they're probably going to ask you the same questions back. And you're probably more likely to have a follow-up conversation. Would that make sense? Yeah? So goals, interests, hobbies, why they do what they do in business is a great question, because you really then get to the heart of why they're passionate about that particular industry or that particular job. So that's one of my favourite questions. You might want to ask them what customers they work with as well. So who are their target clients? What kind of clients do they work with at the moment? What do you think you're doing when you're asking them that question? This is the interactive part.
Research.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, you're trying to find out, do they work with the same kind of clients that I work with? Because if they do, it might be worth having a follow-up conversation. Yeah? Does that make sense? So you could go home tonight with 40 different business cards, but how are you going to follow all of those up tomorrow? How do you know who to call first? You know, so realistically what happens after networking events is, and after exhibitions, a third of people never follow up at all. Which is shocking. You've done all this work, you've made all this effort, you've met loads of people, and then the business cards go on your desk, and they slowly go down your in tray, and then you forget where you met them and who they were anyway, and then they go in the bin. So you've put all of that time and effort in, and then not done anything with it. Likewise, if you go home with a delegate list, how many of you have been contacted after a networking event by somebody you never even met? Because they went through the delegate list and then sent you an email. Anybody have that? Yeah? Do you ever do business with them? It's unlikely, isn't it? Because you're going, who the hell are you? And why are you emailing me? I never gave you permission to email me. Just because I'm on a delegate list doesn't mean you can send me spam. You know, and that's more likely to put me off doing business with them than actually ingratiate them to me, you know. So what I tend to look for when I'm networking, when I go to a networking event, I want to go home with 2 good contacts. That's all I'm looking for. I don't swap cards willy-nilly with people because there's no point. I don't want to have loads of work tomorrow following up people that either I can't help or they can't help me. Yeah? If I know I've got a contact I can put somebody in touch with or a bit of information that might be useful to somebody, I'll take their card and I'll follow it up within 24, 48 hours, usually, when I'm on my best behaviour. So, you know, but if I've only got a couple, then I've only got a couple of people to follow up because, you know, I have a business to run as well. So, you know, we all really only have time to follow a couple of people up. But I look for the people that either I can really help or the people who have got similar customers to me. So there's a really good chance that we've got a strategic alliance. What I then typically do is arrange a follow-up phone call. So tonight, really, you want to get round as many people as possible because this is the numbers game, is the networking. You speak to as many people as you can, politely. You make friends with people. If you've got something in common, you exchange cards, and then you contact them tomorrow. Move on, go and talk to somebody else, politely. Don't go, right, I've had enough of you now, I need to move on. You know, this is about making friends. So, you know, when the conversation kind of naturally comes to an end, that's the time to either exchange cards or just say, well, it was great to meet you, introduce them to somebody else. That's a really great way to move on as well. Again, very nicely, very politely, and then go and talk to somebody else. And what I would then do with the couple of people I've followed up is have a telephone conference with them afterwards. I don't go for coffee with loads of people anymore. I used to do that. And you spend loads of money and loads of time and you drink loads of caffeine and it's really not great for you. And I'm hyper enough without coffee. So what I tend to do now is have a teleconference and I have a structured sort of script, if you like, that I go through so that we can both find out about each other. I can find out how I can help them. They can find out how they can help me. And we can see if there's any reason to kind of get together again. And if that's the case, then I have a follow-up meeting with them. And then we usually go for wine, actually, we don't go for coffee. But by that point, I've met them 4 times, or spoken to them 4 times. So you know that 7 points of contact that I was talking about? we're at point 4 already, but I've not invested, and they haven't invested, which is just as important, loads and loads and loads of time trying to get to that point. Yeah? I used to go talk to anybody, and I'd go to the opening of an envelope. You know, I would turn up at any networking event going, and it was bonkers. And I used to spend loads and loads of time, and I'm a natural, I give lots to people. So I give lots of advice, I do free speaking events, I give contacts to people, I give information to people quite naturally. But what tends to happen is you meet a lot of people who will take all of that free stuff, and then they never do anything for you. Yeah? So really, when you're meeting people, it's about who have I got something in common with, yeah? Who am I sparking off, if you like? Who do I think I can help, and who might be able to help me? And then make sure you follow up. And that is the critical thing after tonight, is just make sure you follow up. Even if you just drop them a quick email tomorrow and say, it was great to meet you, and you know, thanks very much for your time. Just as simple as that. But we don't often get emails that are just nice, simple thank yous, do we? So it just makes you stand out from the crowd. So hopefully that helps, but do keep in touch with people, send them things that are useful to them. Invariably it ends up in business, but it may be 6 months, 12 months down the line. And it is about investing that time. It's hard work. Sorry, but it's hard work. If you do it properly, it's hard work, but it makes you shed loads of money, so it's kind of worth the investment. I'm not disappearing, so I have got a stand over there. If any of you've got any questions at all, please do come and ask. I have got my cards on the table, so if you want to take them away, if you've got any questions that come up, please feel free to email me. Look at my blog, there's loads of information on my blog about marketing tips and things like that. So if I can help any of you, please do come and ask. But other than that, I'm going to leave you to your networking, because I think you've got about another, at least an hour to do lots of networking, get around as many people as possible. So do enjoy it. Make sure you network with Mubarak as well, because often people leave out, the organisers, and he knows you all. So he's probably the best person to network with. So enjoy the rest of the evening, and hopefully I'll catch up with a few of you as we go through the night.